everyone, welcome to Thoughts of Treasures. My name's Connie and this is my craft room. If you are new to watching me, welcome in. I hope you will hit that follow button or subscribe button and become part of our family here. If it's something that you want to see more of, I don't want you to miss out. So, with that being said, tonight we are going to be working on this kit. We did currently, I don't know what day it was, but just a few days back we did the cow chalkboard. This is the chicken, and I'm going to show you. It's going to be adorable when it's done, just like the cow did. On the cow, I had the little flower, and I'm going to match it because I'm not going to use the wood flower. So when you get pieces with the kit, you don't always have to use them. Remember that. So we're going to put those to the side. Now, the second thing I want you to know about all of my kits is that some pieces are done in 1/8 inch, and some pieces are done in 1/4 inch. The 1/4 inch pieces are going to have what is called a masking on them. You will have to remove that. I know I could do it for you, but let me just tell you, I don't have a lot of time. So it just protects the wood, and it really comes off easy. So it's not like it's a difficult thing, you know, like you got to pre-soak it and all this stuff. You don't. It just comes right on off with a little, you can use your nail, your finger, you can use anything you want. I just use this little weeding tool, and it comes right on off. And you just pull. So anywhere there's a scorch mark, a score mark, it's gonna be a cut. So you have to make sure that all those pieces come off. And it just comes off very easy. So it's not like you have to, again, soak it or put anything special on it. It just comes right on off. It's just, all it is the masking tape in a huge roll. Alright, so that being said, now we can get this together. These are going to be a cute little, because I say these because I had the cow sitting right over there, and I should have brought it over to show you. But we'll show you next time. These are just cute little door signs. You can hang them on your door, you can hang them on your wall. If you don't want to put the little wire in them, I'm trying to think if you could do something else with it. You know, you wanted to stick it in your tier tray or just lean it up against something. I guess it really wouldn't matter. You could always, I'm trying to think of something, I don't know, maybe you could think of something to put there that would be to hide the holes, because the holes will come there. I can't take them out. So with all of my pieces, I like to start with the back and getting the back finished. The back to me is just as important as the front. Not really. But I'm running out of black. So again, if you are new to me, I do want to welcome you in. If you are a first timer, please consider hitting that follow button so you don't miss any of our videos that we do here. I do all kinds of different wood kits. They are for sale. Finished products plus the kits itself. So if this is something you want, just say chicken in the comments and I can get it for you. This is actually called a chicken chalkboard. We're not going to be using it as a chalkboard, but again, if you use chalk paint the proper way, you can make it a chalkboard and do what you want with it. Put it in your kitchen or office or wherever you think is a cool place to put it, and you can use it as a chalkboard. However, I am going to make it just a little welcome sign like I did the cow, and I'll show you that I cut welcome out on the Cricut. You can do it on your silhouette machine. Oh, I've got soot all over here. And you will get that from the edges because this is a laser cut piece of wood. So you're going to have that soot. I guess that's the word for it, soot. So I'm just going to do this up. And I'm just using a regular foam brush. You can use a makeup sponge if you can use a large roller. There's, I mean, so many options. My table only holds so much, so you know, we just go with the flow. Right, I am going to, do I need to, yes I do, I need to, let me do his little wingy while we're here. And again, you can paint him any color you would like. I'm I'm just going to kind of keep them in the neutrally colors, I guess you could call it. We're going to make like a brownish chicken. There's all kinds of different colored chickens, so you know there's no right or wrong. But like I was saying, I hope if you are new to watching, come on in, hit that follow button, hit the subscribe button, whichever platform you're watching on, and so you don't miss a video. If you're not part of my Facebook channel itself or Telegram, I do have both, and you can find those on my website, in my link tree, which is coffeetreasures.com, or you can actually find it on my website, on my Facebook page itself. I do go live on Facebook Monday through Thursday, 8:30. And then on Sundays, I do have a live sale, which contains wood kits, printables, stickers, DTF transfers for your shirts or any material. And June 22nd, so this video is going to be out there forever. June 22nd, we are going to have a tumbler sale. So if that's something you're interested in, you're more than welcome to join us. I'm going to wipe this up real quick. And I do have the silicone mat down. It is linked in my Amazon store if you are interested in that. And that is also in my link tree. So now that we have our back prepped, we're going to start with the front. I am going to, I put the thing away. I need to use the black. So if you don't know, I do use 101 different brushes. I'm going to do my bottom in the chalkboard paint. This is not chalkboard paint. I'm just using acrylic paint in the black to make it look like the chalkboard, but however, I'm not making it a chalkboard, as I stated before. So you don't have to get super close up here to the top, because this frame is going to cover that, and I don't want to take the part to get into the chicken. So black is always a hard color to, I'm not worried about here. We'll just continue on, and I'll just leave that part there because that's going to be covered. These kits do work up really quick if you have time. I mean, I don't know. I'm not one to like to rush crafting. I think it should be more something enjoyable. If you rush through it, this stuff is so thick. This is the licorice from Folk Art. This is a very thick paint, which is good, but not when you get to the bottom. Because then you're shaking and shaking and shaking. So these kits can work up really quick. There's not a lot to them. You do not have to be a painter or an artist of any sort. Some of the kits do come with score marks to let you know exactly where placement goes. Some of them do not. I do not make these kits at first. I do have the ability to, but I just don't have the time to sit and make, so I gather them from those that do make and have. I don't sell the SVG to make them. I sell the kits. Get a tongue twisted. I just want to make sure that's out there, that I'm not selling the SVGs to make them themselves to put on. One of these days I might make my own, but until then, I'm happy doing this. There's just certain times you do certain things, and right now, I'm absolutely fine at using other people's patterns to make pretty things and show you. That done, we're going to move on to our chicken. So I'm going to kind of do my chicken more like just a neutrally brown color. I don't need the black anymore, so let's put that in there. So I thought about using cashew for his body. I'm hoping that it's going to be dark enough because I was thinking about using a tan, and I'm still thinking about using tan. Let me think. We might just go with the warm buff because I kind of want to do his headpiece. Yeah, I think that's going to be too light. So scratch that. Strike that from the record. I think we're just going to go with warm buff for his body, and then I'm going to use nutmeg for his headpiece. I guess his headpiece is going to go, not his crest part, but it's just his head. And then I'm going to do this part red, and then his beak is going to be orangey yellow, perhaps. So let's do that. So again, I don't have to worry about getting so much of this up here to go in. I'm just going to get, just remember, whatever you're not going to see, you don't have to spend hours trying to get, you know, nice and around the corner. Don't stress over it. These kits are made very easy. You know, I can go up here, which I will, because I want to make sure I get it all. And I was thinking cashews. Cashews are a very nice color. It does dry darker than this. That's why I was considering it, but then I was like, let's just use warm brown. Warm buff, let's just do it. So I'm going to give this a couple coats. So now down here, I'm not going to stress about this line because that is going to be covered up. And I don't want to get it on the side, which it just did, so I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to give it a quick dry. So now when I did the cow chalkboard, like I said, I did not use the wood flour that came with it. I'll show you what I did do, and we're going to do the same thing to this. Just in case, you know, it's a little matchy-matchy, but you can use the flour for something else, or you can go ahead and use the flour for this. And I'm going to see how this dries, and if it's good, then we'll go on to the next color. But we're going to see first. I do want it nice and brightish. You can see his tail is not full covered. And when I do his little head piece, I'm not going to do it full. I'll show you. I'm going to more like stain it. Now chickens come in every color, so again, it does not have to be brown. You can do a white chicken if you wanted to. A red chicken. They've got the black chickens. They've got, you name it, they've got them. A speckled chicken. I might put some polka dots on him. I've been in a little bit of a polka dotty mood, so polka dots can be fun. I'm going to go to the side here. And if you get it on the side and it dries, you can always take a black acrylic marker or black paint. I think that's good. Let's give us one last try. Semi-dry. I am gonna get. Let's see. Oh, that was open. Let's see if this is any good. That was open in there. Ooh. And look at that. I'm going to use this. It's called Flamenco Red. I really like this red. It's a darker red, really nice for fall projects. And I'm going to use a tiny brush just because you may see this if I don't butt it up there nicely. We're just going to go around here. And there really isn't much to paint on this, so I'm okay with this tiny brush. But this red is really a nice dark red. If you're looking for a red for something and you don't like that bright, I call it Christmassy red, this is perfect. And this is an apple barrel. Perfect red. It's very farmhousey, very fall. So we're right there so far. Loving it, loving it. And there's not a whole lot of pieces to this, so it's not going to take you long to do this. Now, for this piece, I'm going to put this to the side a second and let it dry on its own before I put. I'm going to just take a little baby white because I don't know if I want to dark with this. We're going to see, but what it looks like. Trial and error with this, trial and error. So first I'm just going to take some of this on my plate. Don't need much, and dip my baby wipe in it, and I'm just going to and if you want it a little bit darker, you can go back. I think that's actually going to be perfect. And let me bring this back over. I'm going to be careful because the red is still wet. Oh, I think that's going to be perfect. I like that. So my red is still wet, so I'm going to be careful. I think that's perfect. So now the frame itself. Put that back over here to try. Well, I can't do that because it's got the thing. I was thinking one or two. This is celery, and this is moss. I was going to call it frost, but it's not frost, it's moss. Now, I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use, but I think I'm going to go with the darker one. However, if I start with the light, yeah, I'm just going to do the darker one. We're not going to play the whole, paint over it 5 times game. I think I'm just going to go with the moss. And if it doesn't look good, well then I messed up. No, it'll be fine. It's going to look pretty. But then again, now I'm double guessing myself. You know what? This is where a crafter is allowed to change her mind. She can do what she wants. I'm going to go ahead and do the celery because if the celery doesn't look good and it needs to be darker, we can darken it up. And this does dry darker, so, it might be good. I'm not going to get any on the sides because I want to keep that dark look from the laser. So I am going to do this slowly. If you don't like that laser look, don't get it on the side, Connie. Okay, get it all over the side. Be my guest and just paint that all up. more. And if you guys are watching and you're new to me, I do want to say welcome. And again, I do appreciate everybody that watches. If you have any questions about anything that I do, please don't hesitate to message me or leave a comment on this video. I will get back to you as soon as Facebook thinks it's time for me to see the comment, or YouTube. This video will be on several platforms, so please, indicate in your comment, hey, watching from YouTube or something, because like I said, comments don't come in immediately. We don't get notification. At least I don't. I'm not sure why. This might be a good color. I think I keep calling it the frost. The moss might be a little bit too dark. I'm going to give this a dry and I'm going to give it a second coat. I am that crafter that will change their mind halfway through something. So I don't ever plan colors. I don't ever plan anything. I have an idea of what I want to do. And there are times when I've had to, fix things or make things new or go get something. One of these days I'll have an assistant with me that, they can go fetch everything. Wouldn't that be nice? I guess that fetch is not a nice word. It just makes it easier than having to get up and leave the camera. I try not to do that, but sometimes you just gotta change your mind and things come to you as you are crafting. I'm sure all of you are the same way, or some of you. I can never say this is exactly what I'm going to use and that's it, because I'm halfway through it, or even starting it, I'm like, no, I don't like that. That's not going to look good together. But in my head, it looked perfect. And then once you start seeing the colors together, you're like, no. Tell the truth. Are you guys like that or not? I want to see it in the comments. Alright, I think that's going to be good. If I have to do a different color, well, we'll do a different color. So this is the last piece that I have to paint. I do have my glue tool heated up because I'm going to put a real flower on it. I'm going to put the welcome on. I'm going to get all these pieces nice and dry. I think I'm going to put some polka dots on it. And I'm going to show you one other tip that I do, and probably if you have watched me before, you know that I do this. Get my sanding sponge. I look for the smooth side on this. This is just a sanding sponge from the Dollar Tree. But when you paint something, you're going to run your hand over it and you're going to feel how the paint brings up the wood fibers. So I just use, you can get a low grade sandpaper or just something. Don't scrape it, just go over it lightly. This is going to allow wood to adhere to it better. It's going to allow the vinyl to hit it nicely, stay on there nicely, adhere nicely to it. And I'm going to do all the pieces, and it's going to give your finished product a nicer look. So if you do clear coat it, that's going to stay on there nicer. If you happen to scrape too much, you go back and paint. It's always good to do another coat of paint. So, but I'm not even trying to remotely scrape anything off. I'm just rubbing it over there. I'm going to do it all my pieces. And like I said, it just makes it smoother then. And again, this part is going to be glued to this, which is going to be smooth now. The top is not going to, but it's just going to give it a nicer feel. So let me just show you. Oh, I forgot to do his beaky. Wait a minute, we got to do his beaky. I'm going to get, let's see, what color should I do his beaky? I'm going to do it a yellow. I'm going to do it this, I'm going to do it this yellow. More like an orangey yellow. I forgot his beaky. He's got, oh, that's a lot. This might not be a good yellow. Very runny. I could very well just do a paint marker, but paint markers would work great for this too. So I'm just going to use this little paintbrush and we're just going to get up to that score mark. Get the paint off. Let me try it. I'll probably do one more coat on it. But I think I'm going to do little polka dots on his crest and on his wings. Just to be something different. And we are going to give him an eye too. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him a little googly eye. Googly eyes are always fun. And I think that's perfect. So now we're looking like a chicken. Oh, now that we have our beak on them. So, I'm going to do polka dots. I'm going to use this little guy. And some white. Oops. Oops. So let me bring my plate back over. So when you do polka dots, this is a little scoring tool, I believe, from the Dollar Tree. It is the perfect little thing to make polka dots. So you got little balls. There's a big one, small one, and a big one. I'm going to use the big one, and we're just going to put some polka dots around on his little crusty thing. I don't know, is that a crest, his little roost thing, or her little roost thing? So, what you do, make sure you use fresh paint every time, but every polka dot you're just going to dip and put. So you're just going to put it in, and then we're going to decide where we're going to put dots. Yes, they're random, but you don't want them to be too cluttered. So we're going to start here, and then always pick new. Let's put one here, and then we're going to put one here. I always try to do like the dice, like 1, 2, middle, 1, 2, middle. I don't know, that's the pattern I always seem to take. Until you run out of kind of a little room, but I think that's good. Just a little random. And then we are going to put some black polka dots on that little guy, but we're going to do over here first. Now this is kind of, and my theory of the 5 dice doesn't always work. So we're just going to kind of, I just don't want it to be overly done. So let's start here in the corner. concentrating on where I want to put them. I think that's cool. Looks good. Let that dry. Now, while that's drying, I'm going to use, I say use fresh black, but we're going to use the black that's in here. And I'm going to put some dots, and I might use, well, let's just use the same one. We're good. We're good. I'm not going to use the smaller one, but should I? Maybe I should. Let's see. We can always go bigger. I need a different black. Let's see if we can get this one. I need something a little bit thinner. This black is super thick. Ah, tool down, tool down. If this chair goes out from under me, I'll be down. All right, this is the apple barrel that I have. It's brand new. I'm gonna use that. Maybe. I might use this. It's so much nicer if they just give you a little pull tab on them. Let's try this one. All right. Let's find a little spot over here. Try this again. There we go. Oh, and I'm using the bigger one. That's okay. We'll just go with this. This is working. This is good. I want to put, and I always say every dot you dip, put it back into the paint. Oops. That one again. It just gives a little bit of a design on there. I like that. I'll just clean that off. Now I'm going to give this all a super duper dry. And then we'll start putting this together. I'm going to get two things out of my drawer. One, knife. little clamps. The clamps from the Dollar Tree are perfect for stuff like this. I'm going to glue the chicken part first together. So we are going to get this lined up perfect up here like so. Get the glue. And again, I'm just using the wood glue from the Dollar Tree. I like this stuff. I think it works great. You can use whatever you want to use. I know some people use the Tight Bond, lock, tight, and the tight lock, or what, I don't know what it's called offhand. On there where I want it. Take your time gluing. Placement means a lot. I love it. I think that is so cute. Now his little wingy is going to go here. But I'm going to put his wing on last. And I'll tell you why, just because I don't want the flower to hit it or anything. So I want to make sure where I put the flower and where I put the placement of this. And I'm going to put the welcome on after I got the frame in, and it takes a second to dry. I like to put a little bit extra glue on this, and yes, it's going to seep out. Don't worry, it will dry clear. I'm not saying leave all of it there, but I like to put extra glue on this part because you know there's a lot of little corners, little things like to pop up. So the more glue you have on it, the better. But you're gonna have a lot of it ooze out. So be prepared for that. Don't stress, don't think it's a big deal. Get it going here nice and tight. We'll go back and wipe the edges off. Clamp on here. So if you ever want to know the colors I use and I don't tell you, you're more than welcome to just ask. Hopefully I can remember. I try to tell you through the video what colors I use. That does not mean that's the colors that you have to use, but sometimes it will give you little inspiration. Some people have problems, and I do sometimes too, have problems picking colors. But I really think the celery, I think the moss would have been too dark. So I'm kind of glad I went with. And I'm just wiping up the glue part. And what you can't get, don't stress. It will dry clear. I will go in on the inside with a little brush, and I'll show you that in a second. See how it's coming out down here. I'm not going to get it all off. What I'm just going to do is take my brush and get some of it, and then kind of paint the rest on in a light section. So anywhere there's paint, up in these corners, because if there's a chunk of paint, then yes, you'll tend to see that. But it'll still be clear, but you'll still see it. Alright. So while that's drying, I will show you how to apply. I'm going to put this on last, so let me put this back on so it doesn't dry up on me. And I'll put his eye on too when I do the glue. Next up, I'm going to take my little welcome. If you guys have never played with vinyl before, or you don't have a Cricut machine or a Silhouette machine, any of the vinyl cutters work. It does not have to be a Cricut. I'll put this over here for a second. I'm going to give you a little tip. So this is one of the crafts that I started with several years back. It is an amazing thing. I love doing it, and you'll see me do more of it throughout these videos. However, this time I'm just going to do this. I've been doing a lot of wood kits here lately, but I am going to get back into doing some vinyl because I know a lot of people do like it and want to learn it. So this is my transfer sheet. In order to get this to that, I do need to pick it up, and I'm not going to pick it up one butter at a time. So I always suggest lay your transfer sheet down. These lines, ignore them. Don't go by the lines on here. So just take your decal, your image, your vinyl, and put it on there, and I just rub it down a little bit. It's on there. So now we have our covering. You can use one of those scrapers. I, however, do not. I will tell you, I use StarCraft vinyl. Very, very good product. It is inexpensive and works well. I used Oracle for the longest time. It's more expensive. It's a great vinyl. That's my second choice now. StarCraft is my go-to. And if you want a link to the transfer tape that I use, again, it is in my Amazon shop. So you just put your vinyl on there. Now, I never suggest doing this. Never take your transfer sheet up. Always flip it over. All I do simply is just rub, and then I pull my backer away from my transfer sheet. You have more control this way. You're not making anything accidentally pop up. If it doesn't come off, wiggle it one way, wiggle it another way. Get down close to it and just walk it back is how I call it. And then you're off. You didn't see me scrape, 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 scrape. You know, you didn't see any kind of trouble. If this transfer tape is too sticky, which, you know, I always say you can fuzz it. It doesn't have to be super sticky. We're going to then take this over here. And I'm going to, I want to come down a little bit lower because I'm going to put my flower there. But I'm just going to kind of center it, but I want it a little angled. I'm going to put it right there. So now I'm just going to, again, I am not pressing hard. I am not doing anything crazy. I'm just using my fingers to rub over it. And then now this is freshly paint. If you can and possibly could, wait until the next day when this paint is 24 hours dry, it's better. Sometimes when you're taking extremely sticky tape to paint, it does come up. So we're just going to go slowly. That's why I say fuzz is always better. It's the same thing like with you do the Chalkboard stencils and Magnolia stencils. Fuzz it. You don't want it to be so sticky. Same thing with this. I didn't fuzz it, and I'll show you next time how to fuzz it and how it'll still stick. You can use this transfer sheet many, many, many more times. I usually stick them to my table over here, and they're good. Now, I did bring it down because these are all leftover pieces from my, what's this, boxwood. I always forget the name of that. And I'm going to get a flower real quick. Where's that one? Trying to matchy with the cow over there. So I'm going to use the same. Now see how this little guy is all bent up? I think there is no answer to that. Simply turn your heat tool on. Iron that bad bad boy out. And now it's all fixed. It's all fixed. I'm going to leave that on just a little bit longer. So I'm going to stick my little flower up here. I'm going to trim down. Scissors. And we're going to put a little eye on him and a little tiny hanger, and we're done. He's going to be finished, and he's so cute. I do like this green. I think this green was a better choice than the darker one. So yeah, if you have little extra pieces to these, don't throw them away. I got me a whole jar full over here. Let's cut this down. Don't stick your finger in there, Connie. Right. So I'm going to put my flower right there at the top. And I'm going to put these little guys in here. And then I guess the wing will never ever be affected. Okay, so we can put our wing on. So let me glue the wing down. And then I'm going to pick an eyeball out, and then we'll get our hot glue tool. Now for the flat pieces like this that I know are just going to go down here, I don't put a whole lot of glue. A little bit goes a long way with this. I only do it for the frame because, you know, once you glue this down, this piece could pop up. Then you can't go back and put glue in there. It just becomes a pain. Alright, so this is set for a while, so we're good. Let me put these away. I like my little flower there. I think this is really cute. Make sure I want to swing where I want it to be. And this glue allows you to move it around a little bit, so you know you're not stuck right there. I think that looks good. I'm trying to see how far his wing needs to be down. Alright, let me get an eyeball. I don't want to have a huge eye, so let's take lookies. That might be too big. I don't want a blue eye. I don't want no blue eye. Blue-eyed chicken. Oh, I think that's perfect. I like the little one. Alright, we're gonna go with that. The other one was a little too big. He's only a little chicken. He just needs a little eyeball. Just a little eyeball. Alright, now we can start gluing this together. Hold on, let me zip this up. One of these days I'm gonna get this room cleaned up and have everything organized. Actually, it's not that it's disorganized. There's just so much that you need at one time that you don't want to put everything away. You guys look like that with your craft room? Make sure I got this about in the center. And you can always put your flower on first and then put the welcome on if you're not sure, you know, whereabouts you want it. Don't lose my eye. Don't use my eye. I'm going to turn it this way so I can put a little bit of glue. And then a little bit of glue. And then let's turn it back this way. Go always in. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Alright. Now I'm just gonna dab. That's awesome. That looks perfect. Couldn't have asked for a better color choice. Let me take this off so we don't get glue stuck together. And then I'm going to cut a bigger piece of wire than I need, but I'm just going to make a little hanger out of this. I'm not the best person with wire. This is very flexible, very thin wire. I do believe I have this wire also linked in my Amazon store. Guys, if you are not familiar with the Amazon stores and how they work, well, let me explain. If you use our links, that does not necessarily mean you have to buy our products that are in our storefront. We put things there that we like, things that we use, things that you see us using on our lives. And by we, I mean lots of different crafters and different influencers. I'm actually talking about my link, however. You do not have to buy everything that is on my page, but if you go to my link tree, grab my storefront link, shop, go look at it, and then go away. That scared the living daylights out of me. Go shop. It was a fly. Go shop and find something else. You are still giving a commission to my link. So it'd be a couple dollars, couple pennies and not dollars in my pocket. And that just gives me, a chance to buy something else that I need or something that I can buy to show you guys how it works, things like that. So if you have time and you want to, that'd be awesome. So there we go. And that is the finished product. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I want to say thank you very much for watching. If you are not following or subscribed, please do so. If you enjoyed what you see and you want to see more, because I don't want you to miss any videos that I put out there. So remember that I want you guys to have an amazing day. And remember, thoughts become things and things become treasures. I'm so happy you're here. And for now, I want to say goodbye until next time.